What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News, and today I want to discuss UFC 280's matchup between Sugar Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan in the bantamweight division. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. All right, guys, getting right into it. Basically, I'm making this video because I saw the odds. Basically, I think Peter Yan opened up as like a minus 500 or like minus 350 favorite or something against Sugar Sean O'Malley. Now, I want to tell you guys exactly why I think that's absurd, right? And I don't really understand all the criticism on Sugar Sean. Yeah, he had those two injuries in the Andre Sukumtop fight, and he had the injury against Marlon Chito Vera, right? But they were two completely separate injuries, almost freak incidents. He hasn't had the same type of injuries since then. This is the fight game. We all get hurt. To sit there and say that these guys aren't leaving the octagon even when they win without injuries is pretty fucking absurd. And I think that what Sean has been able to do, the praise he's been getting from guys like Khabib, Henry Cejudo. I mean, Cejudo was saying himself that, if he wasn't thinking of a comeback, if he was going to retire, he'd love to train with Sean and learn from Sean, teach Sean. So that just goes to show what people have been seeing on his tape, on his fights. His ability to move, his ability to utilize space and distance, and his lateral movements, his picking of shots, his ability to throw the jab, the front kicks up the middle, his checking of leg kicks, what he showed against Pedro Munoz. I mean, he basically didn't get hit for the first round and a half. And I think a lot of this goes to show, people just love to hate the guy. He had the fight against Marlon Chito Vera where it was a freak injury, a legit injury though. Marlon hit him right in the perfect spot, and he was able to put his foot down and get the fight to the ground and finish the fight, and all respect to Cheeto on that. But that's happened about, I've seen two other times. I think Michael Chandler versus Brent Primus, and then you had Henry Cejudo against Mighty Mouse. Total freak incidents, and basically their legs were fucked. I think Henry was the only one who actually was able to weather through that and figure out a way to get the W. And in Sean's case, another freak incident, and he really just wasn't able to battle back from that. And I don't think there's a lot of criticism that I think that you could sit there and say, especially with the previous, I think it was a foot break that he had in the Andre Sukumtop fight, where he broke his foot at the end of the fight and he couldn't even stand up when the fight ended. He ended up getting the W, but he broke his foot. So a lot of people think he's fragile. He's got the skinny, long frame. A lot of people think that his legs, his shins, his feet are fragile. And I can kind of see why they would say that, because the times where he has gotten hurt has come upon his legs. But I really don't think that's going to play out a factor in this fight. I think Yan, his game plan to win this fight, he's going to have to stop. He's going to have to basically cut Sean's path from his lateral movements. He's going to have to work the body and work the legs. He's going to have to utilize his pressure and not let Sean get the distance. He can't let Sean run around him. He's only got 15 minutes. And the way Sean O'Malley works, he can score those points very fast, very efficiently against you. So he can definitely win on points very early, those first two rounds. If he can go out there and basically get on his bicycle, move around, and piece up Yan and just touch and go, touch and go, touch and go, he can definitely squeak out a victory easily. So Yan has got to cut that movement away, work the body, work the legs, possibly get the fight to the ground. I don't really see Yan trying to get the fight to the ground unless it's totally necessary. He seems like the guy who likes to kind of play your game, beat you at your own game. I think that's kind of what we saw with the Sterling fight too. And, I think that kind of went against what Peter Yan, his last fight, he fought kind of emotional, and then he kind of went off the game plan, and it kind of just seemed like he got the fight was closer than I think it should have been. I personally had Yan winning that fight, but it was close. It could have gone either way, him or Sterling. Phenomenal fight, phenomenal performance on both ends. But I think when Peter Yan gets emotional, he kind of loses the game plan. He kind of just marches forward, and that can definitely lead to his detriment. Now, the fight against Corey Sandhagen, I think, is very important when it comes to an analysis standpoint. What he was able to do against Corey Sandhagen, who is a very similar style of Sean O'Malley, who's long, works the distance, and is a very high-level striker. And Peter Yan was able to beat him at his own game. And I think that right there makes this kind of even. If I wouldn't have seen the Corey Sandhagen fight, if that fight didn't have happened, I would probably have the edge for Sean O'Malley based off of size, movement, and his ability to judge distance and work his distance. But Peter Yan is a tough motherfucker. What he did against Jose Aldo, what he's done against basically everybody else that he's fought. I mean, his only blemish is Aljamain Sterling and Magomedov, and that was a long time ago. So, I mean, he's been able to go out there and just dominate guys, especially at their own game. It seems like he likes to work against their own game. So I can't wait to see it. I think this fight is way more even. I have this fight at 50-50. Sean definitely can win this fight. He definitely has all the tools to win this fight and prove why he is a number one or definitely a top 3, top 5 contender. I think if he gets the victory, he will have a title eliminator match against Chito Vera, or they might even just give him the title fight against Sterling. And if he beats Sterling, because it seems like the UFC, they don't promote him much. It seems like the UFC doesn't really want him there with everything the way he won the title. So it just kind of has like this weird dark cloud over Aljamain Sterling, you know, and the way he acted ever since winning the title. So there's a whole nother aspect with that in itself. And I think the UFC really wants to push a Marlon Chito Vera and a Sugar Sean O'Malley title fight very soon if Sean can take on Sterling. So I mean, there's basically like the three horsemen, right? Not three horsemen, but like the three musketeers of the bantamweight division. If Sugar Sean O'Malley comes out of the victory, it's basically going to be him, Chito, and the champion Sterling, you know. But you know, Sterling on the same night has got to get through TJ Dillashaw. So like, there's all these things going on at bantamweight right now that are just very exciting. And I can talk about this shit all day, but we're really just here to talk about Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan. So let me not get ahead of myself a little too much here. I definitely have this 50-50. Sean has the tools to get this done, but it's all about, can he keep the distance? Can he fight his own fight? And for Peter Yan, can he break that distance? Can he cut Sean O'Malley off and get off the body shots, work the body, work the legs? We're definitely going to find out soon at UFC 280, guys. I can't fucking wait. All right, guys, that's it for Mr. Mustache. Mr. Mustache MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.